My name is Joshua Richard Decoto. I am a senior at Iona University. It's so interesting to say. I'm a senior at Iona University. I graduate in May 2023, and I am majoring in mass comm and entrepreneurship.
And you're also on the track team, correct?
Yes, I also forget to add that. I am now officially on the Iona University track team. It's kind of been on and off. I was originally on it during my sophomore year, from 2019 to 2020, and then I took a 2-year hiatus, and now I'm back on the team during this year, 2022. I wasn't always in the track. I liked running. I liked to do sports and stuff of that nature, but I started out with basketball. Basketball was a great sport. I liked to play it. I wasn't the best at it, but I liked to play it. And it was up until I met my good friend, Timmy Roberts, and he invited me over to his house one day when we were in like middle school, and we raced, and he said, "Hey man, you're fast. You were able to keep up with me. You should do track." And then I signed up for cross country because I didn't know any better. I was kind of just feeling everything out, kind of just going through it. I didn't realize how good I was until high school. Right? I didn't realize how good I was until high school. When I got to maybe, I want to say my sophomore, maybe junior year of high school, is when I started to make that connection that I was good, but I didn't necessarily start trying. Like, I tried, but it was just kind of like enough to get by, if that makes sense. When I got here as a freshman, I remember my mom, she had given me like a letter and said, "Hey, this is all your stuff that you had filled out for track, and you gotta just go hand that in, and then talk to the coach, and you should be good to run." And I got to college, had that letter for an entire semester, and I didn't talk to anybody, right? Why I didn't? I don't know. I can primarily say it was because I was just kind of lazy, just going through the motions, still feeling college out, you know. Didn't do it. And then by the time I did, it was kind of like, all right, well, you know, we're kind of halfway through a season. I don't know if we can just throw you in, come back next year. Came back next year, you know, I already was feeling the effects of, you know, the freshman 20, the freshman 20, or freshman 15, whichever one you want to pick. And it started to mess with me a little bit because I recognized I was out of shape. And I'm running with this team of people who are all fantastic runners, and I'm the slowest one. I'm used to being at the top of the pack when I was in high school, to leading, you know, different running groups, you know, running ahead of everybody. And now I'm one of the slowest, if not the slowest, you know. People working next to me saying, "Hey man, you kind of run like my grandpa," you know, stuff like that. And it kind of messed with my mental a little bit. That all led into 2020, when I was even more discombobulated by COVID and, you know, family stuff going on, toxic relationship, you know, kind of just gave up on everything for a while, you know. And that's when my 2-year hiatus from track began. 2020 was a very tough year. I had to really sit down and, well, actually no. 2020 is when I lost myself, or rather gave myself up, trying to help other people around me, and kind of watching a lot of different things that I had built up and been so used to over the years kind of fall apart, like friend groups, relationships, stuff of that nature. You know, things that I was familiar with were kind of disappearing, and I didn't know who I was for a while. And I knew I missed running, and I hated the fact that I would talk with people who, you know, were running, you know, a lot of my friends, and they would be in shape and stuff, and I would hate the fact that I wasn't in shape, that now I was even more out of shape than I was before I had started track my sophomore year, you know. Hated that, absolutely hated that, and it bothered me. But I didn't have the mental strength to pick myself up and stick with a consistent workout and get myself back on track, you know. And then 2021 was basically my year of trying to slowly climb my way back out of that mental spot that I was in.
Meeting Josh, I didn't know him as much, but he was on the team. He had a rough starting the team as well because he did, gain weight and stuff. So his times weren't the best, like in 2020. Compared to now it's like he has progressed like times 10. Like he got so much stronger, like his form, his running, everything, it got really, really good.
With the memories of 2020 still fresh in Joshua's memory, he knew that in 2021 he had to make a change to get back to where he was.
I said to myself, I don't want to repeat another year at Iona. I don't want to repeat the same mental stuff that I was dealing with. I don't repeat any of that. So I started to do a lot more work on myself, started a business, got an LLC behind that, a bunch of other different things. But I finally worked up the courage to start really working out and training, and I had my family behind me pushing me, I had some friends around me pushing me. And before the summer was over, I had the mental strength to call my now coach and request that I be added on as a walk-on and say that I wanted to run. It took up a lot because the stories that I had heard about that woman were not the greatest. She was kind of scary, and I know she kind of eats people alive who aren't serious. But I knew that I was serious, even though that I was scared and I didn't want to be thrown away, but I also knew that it would be better than not even trying,
As Joshua reflects on all the strides he has made the past 2 years, he has not become complacent and still looks forward to making even more progress in the future.
I'm very proud of myself, I'm very, very proud of myself. I saw myself go to my very lowest points, and I knew it was going to be a very big journey to make it back, but I always knew I was going to make it back. I didn't know how long it was going to take, but I knew it was going to happen. I wasn't going to allow myself to stay there. So now to see and hear myself and, be around people and, kind of like feel like I'm able to fit in among my track people it's a blessing and a joy that I'm very grateful to have, because I didn't feel like I had it before. So it's really nice to be here, man. It's really nice to be here, and I look forward to where it goes in the future. I look forward to being more in shape, to losing more weight. I've already lost a lot. Looking forward to getting my abs back. Running better races. Maybe catching up on some and beating my high school times. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a great feeling.